Well, good evening to you. Thanks for clicking on to today's edition of VOGAN'S Views on the USA. And no wonder we're seeing wildfires all the way from New England down to Florida. We're seeing very dry conditions, of course. This is the period between January through March, precipitation compared to normal. And you notice here, particularly across anywhere from the mid-Atlantic up through New England, we've seen a very, very dry period from January through March. And that is really the reason why we're seeing these wildfires take place. High pressure has been more dominant than low pressure. And when you've got high pressure, you've got sinking air. And of course, you've got less in the way of precipitation. Now, you notice here, the record driest and much below normal really affects the I-95 up through Vermont, New Hampshire, into Massachusetts as well. But record driest in Connecticut. We're also seeing, you notice here, the oranges, which is of course a significant much below normal. But certainly it is a concern. The concern also is the fact that we're seeing dominant high pressure. This is actually the drought situation across the United States. You can see here the yellows, and of course the lingering multi-year drought across Georgia down through Florida. Of course, the wildfire, it's not rocket science here. When you see the driest areas, that's where we're seeing some of the bigger wildfires across North Florida and up into South Georgia as well. We're seeing wildfires taking place, and all the way up through the eastern seaboard, the eastern coastal plain, and it's a concerning situation. High pressure has been the dominant features. A blocking area, high pressure, forcing the jet stream north, forcing all that moisture and precipitation away from this region. We need to see more in the way of a troughiness, and the good thing is that the pattern would suggest that we're seeing more in the way of cooler and wetter conditions as we progress later into the month of April. But you notice here, this is the current setup of the Weather Channel. The trough going to be sweeping in by later in the week. Showers, thunderstorms, big hail producers, damaging wind, torrential rain, you name it, the Central Plains has got it. And that has certainly been the case today across West Texas up into western Oklahoma. Let's have a quick look off the upper level chart of the ECMWF. It depicts it well. The trough. Chilly air coming into the upper Midwest. We're seeing temperatures into the teens, even some single digits up across the Dakotas this morning. That storm system, nowhere to go. Why? Because we've got an area of very strong high pressure pushing up through the North Atlantic. The reason being is it's a very much a negative North Atlantic oscillation. Had we seen this in January, well, we certainly would have seen some impressive winter storms and cold, but it's just simply not the time of year to see that, unfortunately. So all you snow lovers, this is the type of pattern you would have wanted to see back a few months ago. But you notice here, the trough taking its time, struggling to beat down this ridge of high pressure. That's going to also produce record-breaking warmth. Salt Lake City, you're aiming for 80 degrees this afternoon, but very, very warm conditions through the Great Basin, the Rocky Mountains. Further east, watch out for West Texas, West Oklahoma, even up into Kansas. The biggest thing with these storms today will be large hail, like we seen yesterday. Grapefruit-sized hail in Woodford, or should I say Woodward in Oklahoma. So an impressive video on my blog. Check that out if you haven't already seen it. And what we're going to be seeing is, over the course of the next few days, we're going to see this system here that's got nowhere to go rotate this here cold air down into the eastern flank of the country. What we will start to see is this area of storminess across the Pacific start to work its way into California, up through Oregon, Washington. We're going to be looking at rainfall pushing right down through LA, San Diego. Could be seeing snow even down to the levels of the Grapevine in California. Heavy rain, mountain snow is going to be the rule over the next few days as this system pushes in. What's going to happen is we're going to be starting to see the heat push into the Central Plains, cooler conditions across the west, and a reinforcement of that chill over the east. Let's have a quick look Tuesday into Wednesday. You notice here that the heat actually gets forced further north, and it actually could be warmer across the Great Basin tomorrow as opposed to today. You notice here the chillier air pushing across the Great Lakes into the Ohio Valley. By Wednesday into Thursday, we're going to be seeing the trough starting to work its way into the west. The heat starting to lose its grip, but it's going to slide eastwards. The severe weather threat will go from the southern plains northwards up into the central plains, even towards the Midwest region as we progress from Wednesday into the latter part of the week, and that is something worth noting. Look at how the trough starts to dig all the way down into the southeast corner of the country. Much cooler air down through Georgia, the Carolinas, even in the North Florida even. Thursday into Friday, you notice here that off the ECMWF, that trough starting to carve its way out. This will continue to be the area to watch out for strong to severe thunderstorms. We're also going to be seeing multiple inches of rain between now and the latter part of the week as these storms day by day far across the central plains. But by Thursday and this is Friday, should I say, by Saturday, you notice things taking place here. The trough well established, gone is that heat. The heat now over the western flank of the plain states. Very warm air, you notice here over central Mexico. But what we're seeing is the rise in heights across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, onto the East Coast. Gone will be that chill, so it's getting deflected northwards. We're also noticing a slight breaking down of this high pressure over the North Atlantic by Sunday. Let's have a look and see what happens. The warmth now getting pushed into the northeast. We're going to be seeing temperatures rise back into the 70s again for the I-95 corridor, DC, Philadelphia, perhaps even New York City as well. We're also going to continue to see the severe weather threat all the way up into the Midwest by the early part of next week. So we've got plenty of things to talk about here. Over the coming days, we're going to be seeing wet, windy, chilly conditions. California, the West Coast, and then of course we're also going to be seeing record-breaking warmth through the Great Basin, the Rockies. Severe weather threat the next 5 days across the Central Plains. The chill over the east will start to break down as we progress into the weekend, but certainly we could be looking at some freezes all the way down through parts of Georgia over the next 48 hours. So watch out for that. If you've got crops, of course, that will destroy your crops. By the latter part of the week into the weekend, we're going to see the heights start to rise over the east, heights lowering over the west, and basically it's self-explanatory. Hope you have a great day, folks. Hope you're having a safe one, and if you're in the southern plains, please be careful for those severe storms this afternoon. Have a great day, folks. Bye-bye.